Welcome back to the Simplify Senior Transitions podcast. I'm your host, Dale Corpus, a senior transition specialist and real estate expert dedicated to guiding families through the complexities of senior living options. Today, we have a distinguished guest, Raimundo, with a robust background in business development across various senior care sectors. Brian currently excels in sales and development at Acacia Creek Retirement Community. Additionally, he's the co-founder of the East Bay Senior Roundtable, a network committed to enhancing the quality of life for seniors in our community. In this episode, we'll delve into 1, the concept and benefits of continuing care retirement communities, also known as CCRCs, 2, Acacia Creek's unique offerings and Brian's impactful initiatives, and 3, the origins and achievements of the East Bay Senior Roundtable. Let's embark on this insightful journey.
Welcome to the Simplify Senior Transitions podcast, where we help families navigate senior living, real estate, and everything in between. Hosted by Senior Transition Specialist Dale Corpus, this show brings you expert insights, real solutions, and stress-free strategies to make senior transitions simple. Ready to dive in? Let's go.
Here we are live on the show. Brian, how are you? I'm glad that you're able to be on this podcast.
Thank you for having me, and I'm doing really well. Things are great, work is great, and I'm excited to share with your audience.
Yeah. Well, here, let's just roll into it.
All right.
Can you explain what a continuing care retirement community, a CCRC, is, and how it differs from other senior living options?
So, to simplify, a CCRC offers multiple levels of care in the same campus.
Mm-hmm.
We typically start with independent. We offer assisted living,
Mm-hmm.
memory care, and we do have our own skilled nursing on campus.
Okay.
The benefit of that is it's a true age in place model, meaning that when your needs change, you don't have to move or look for another community to live in during crisis, especially for those with memory care or higher level of care needs as in long-term skilled nursing. And as you know, long-term skilled nursing is hard to find. Not a lot of skilled nursing facilities are willing to take patients long-term.
Yep.
Mostly because it's not profitable for them. But as a resident on our campus, you are guaranteed placement if you do ever need long-term skilled nursing.
Okay, perfect. Now, what are the primary benefits for seniors choosing a CCRC specifically like Acacia Creek?
Well, ours is our community is unique in a sense that there's a lot of history there. We are owned by the Masonic Home of Union City. So we're very financially stable. We are not for profit, which is also not very common, and everything as far as the services, everything is there. Besides just living accommodations, there's such a robust options as far as activities and the amenities. How many communities out there do you know that has a wood shop? Or a mini general store or a pharmacy that can fill the residents' prescriptions, or outpatient therapy on campus, a dentist, an optometrist, acupuncturist. So that's just some of the things that we offer right on campus where folks don't have to go out really. And the other thing that makes us unique is we're sitting on a lot of land. We're sitting on 305 acres.
Okay.
So there's room to grow. And again, we just have the means to support all of our residents.
Got it. Now, when I think of a CCRC, I always associate it with something like a buy-in fee to, get into the community.
Mhm.
Um, I want to just kind of shed some light on that. Is that true that that exists? And if so, how does it work?
So most CCRCs, there is an entrance fee, which,
Okay.
commonly some folks call it buy-in.
Yeah.
Um, I I refer to it as an entrance fee because when you say buy-in, it makes it seem like you're buying
Yep.
property, but you're
Got it.
you're really not. The entrance fee is more of I would like to compare it to a life insurance policy
Oh,
and a savings account.
okay.
So basically, what the entrance fee does is guarantees you care, medical care, and housing for the rest of your life. And in the event that you run out of finances for the monthly fees, which would be quote unquote rent,
Yeah.
then that becomes a spend down account where we can utilize that to continue taking care of you, especially in your later years when you are in true crisis. So one thing that I could really say about the Masonic home is it's not in their mission to kick people out. So
Mm,
they truly find a way to let you live there.
perfect. Let's talk more about Acacia Creek then.
Mhm.
First off, let's talk about the location. Where are you guys located in the Bay Area for those folks listening?
We are in Union City.
Yep.
We are along Mission Boulevard, 34400 Mission Boulevard. Um, you'll see a massive brick building.
Yep.
Looks like a medieval castle, but
It does. Yeah. Yeah.
and and that's just part of the character of the campus. As you drive up into the campus, it feels like you're driving into a resort,
No?
which I often compare to a resort because,
Yeah.
again, just the quality of living, the quality of the apartments,
Yep.
the services. So that's where we are. We're in the East Bay Hills.
Yeah, and like you talked about it a little bit. I want to just delve into it a little bit more. Can you share even more of the history and the mission of Acacia Creek?
So Acacia Creek was we opened in 2010. Um,
Okay,
and initially it was additional housing for the Freemasons.
got it.
And so as far as the Freemasons are concerned, it's a fraternity. And so it's just like an elk club. These guys go back into the 1800s. And
Okay,
so the property is actually owned by the Freemasons of California.
okay,
And initially, the very first structure there was created for the wives and the children of the Masons as the Masons were out building structures all over
yeah,
the country. And as of current, that brick building is the independent living for the Masons. And so in 2010, the main reason they built Acacia Creek was to open up additional independent living for Masons. Um, but they decided to open it to the public. And so 50% of my residents at Acacia Creek are Masons, and the other
hmm
50 are residents and just the public, just like you and I, that
yep,
can afford the entrance fee and would like to live the luxury lifestyle that we have to offer. And so it's why Acacia Creek is what it is today.
okay. And I want to just get more clarification on the levels of care and services at
Mhm.
Acacia Creek. You talked about, so I know it's pretty much everything, I think you said. So it's
Absolutely.
independent, right?
Mhm.
Assisted. Do you have memory care? I mean, I don't think you do any, like, that's not a skilled nursing facility at all, or is
There
it?
is a skilled nursing facility on campus. So
Oh, but there
on
is.
top, yeah. So it's on top of the three living levels, we do have a 125 bed skilled nursing facility behind our memory care community. So,
Uh-huh.
uh, historically they never um, accepted the public.
Yeah.
Within the last, I want to say 20 years, they have been open to the public. So we do get quite a few residents from the local hospitals like Washington and Kaiser, but primarily functioning for our residents on campus.
Got it.
And then as far as the different levels, so Acacia Creek, although we are quote unquote independent, we are also licensed for assisted living. So we do offer assisted living services if the resident does not want to move out of their apartment. And so they can pay as they go, or if they need additional services, just bathing and dressing, then they can pay as they go. There is a monthly fee additional. Or when it comes time where they need 24/7 supervision, then that's when we really emphasize our pavilion building, which is true assisted living. What makes us unique there is we have a nurse on site 24/7, not just AM or PM shift. And it's a small house model.
Yep.
And what that means is every resident gets their own studio, a little kitchenette with a microwave and a mini fridge, but it's a community style dining, and of course the activities are held in the common areas, and so it's like it's a big house.
Yeah. And that's the one I toured. That's the one where you could bring pets, right?
Yes. So we do allow pets at Acacia and at the pavilion.
Yeah.
But in our memory care, which is Wallenberg, it's on the front side of Acacia Creek. Same concept, just like pavilion. It's small house model. Every resident gets their own private studio and private bathroom. But they're not allowed to have pets.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious, for those that are moving into any of the, communities at Acacia Creek, are they coming from other parts of the Bay Area? Are they coming from out of state? I'm just trying to understand where your population is coming from.
It's a mixture of both. I would like to say about 80% are from the Bay Area, South Bay Peninsula, East Bay, a lot of locals in the Fremont area. But I do get move-ins. My furthest one was from Michigan.
Okay.
And the next furthest one that's coming up, I want to say next month, is moving from Ohio. So they're really seeking certain types of communities and the offerings, and we just fall into what they're looking for. So
Yeah. Let's talk more about this resort feel that Acacia Creek has.
mm-hmm.
Can you describe the amenities and lifestyle programs available to residents?
Oh my goodness. We do have 2 indoor pools.
Okay.
We have a full gym. We have a dance studio where they do chair fitness, yoga, Pilates, balance classes. There's ping pong there. We have pickleball court. We have a putting green. We have a mini driving range, horseshoes, bocce ball, 2 wood shops. What else?
Movie theater? Do you guys have a movie theater?
Currently, we're showing movies in our bar. So we
Yeah. Oh, nice.
bar. And our residents are the bartenders, so it's like Cheers. And as I mentioned, we have a mini general store. We have our own urgent care clinic on campus. We have our own pharmacy. We have a Goodwill store. We have a gift shop.
Yeah.
As far as activities, we have a lot of activities. And if it doesn't exist, we will create it for somebody that's seeking that. Good example is I have a 98-year-old resident that leads the walking group, and they will walk from the main lobby Acacia Creek all the way to the guard gate and back up and on the other side of the campus. And you've seen that campus.
I have.
So there at 98, she's doing about a mile and a half, mile and three quarters on the daily
Wow.
basis uphill.
Wow.
So a lot.
Yeah, easy.
Yes, we have multiple aqua aerobics classes. We have a sewing studio. So a lot of residents that want to learn how to knit or crochet or use a sewing machine, we have an instructor that comes Mondays and Fridays. The residents are the ones that run the wood shop as well. And so they teach each other. We have a mahjong room.
Yeah.
Karaoke happens in there as well. And then bingo. So there is a lot of. Oh, one more thing is we have a ceramic room.
Mhm.
It's pre-made shapes, so vases, animals, objects, whatever. And they just glaze it, and then one of the team members puts it in the kiln for them, and so it's a nice little getaway to create, get your creative side out. Or one of the only communities that I know that has a flight simulator as well.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
Wow.
I was truly blown away when I first saw that because I thought it was a big photo booth and realized it was a flight simulator. And when I asked about it, they said we had a lot of retired pilots. So the Masonic Home in Acacia Creek truly does cater to their residents and their hobbies. We
Yeah,
also,
wow.
oh, sorry. One last thing. We do have an FAA approved mini landing strip for our radio controlled airplane group. And so
Oh,
the other side of the hill, there's a little mini landing strip there. It's pretty crazy.
yeah, that is, yeah. So that is very tailored again for like those residents. Is that something that came about because a resident had wanted that?
Yes, typically yes.
Oh,
So as a new resident, we have a successful agent, and
okay.
her job is to figure out what that resident or new resident is passionate about, what they would
Uh-huh.
like to start enjoying in their retirement, and sometimes somebody will say, okay, well, we have a radio controlled airplane group now, and we need an area to land these planes. And yeah, I mean, they have the wood shop to build them.
Yeah.
And so now they have yeah, and so that's kind of the concept is we truly support our residents in their endeavors and in their hobbies. And if it doesn't exist, then we make it happen.
Okay. I love everything that you just said. It reminds me, you guys are almost like a small town.
Yes,
And or you know what it is? It almost sounds like a luxury cruise ship with every single amenity you could think of. And
absolutely.
then you guys have it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't need to
absolutely.
leave.
Absolutely.
Now, I want to segue into some of your role and some of your achievements at Acacia Creek. So, what motivated you to transition into the CCRC sector, and how has your diverse experience in senior care influenced your approach at Acacia Creek?
Um, my approach has always been, and even in my previous roles, I've always been a consultative. I like to come across as a resource versus
Yep.
a salesperson.
Yep.
Um, and it's worked out for me. And one of the main reasons I wanted to learn the CCRC business is, um, you know, short personal story. Um, Back in 2008, my father was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's, and
Okay.
navigating the healthcare system was not easy for myself and my family. So after my dad, oh, that was my crash course in caregiving. So, but after my dad passed, I took it upon myself and decided, you know what, I'm going to learn everything that is involved in senior care.
Mhm.
And so immediately after that, I worked at Pathways and I learned home health and hospice. and then I
Yeah.
learned home care, and then I learned subacute skilled nursing. And so the last piece of that combination is senior living. And
Yeah.
decided, instead of just learning assisted living or just memory care, I wanted to learn all of it in one place. And so I was fortunate to have the opportunity to work at the Masonic Home and really sell and be a resource to
Mm.
our seniors that are looking for a place to retire. As far as my approach to my current role, same thing, just consultative. I give them the information, I let them decide. Of course, it's still my duty to sell and to
Yeah.
sell those empty rooms, but we're selling a lifestyle. We're not selling
Yeah.
a car. And a lot of these residents, when they come in to do a tour with me, they already know what they're looking for. And so really just asking the right questions, asking what they're looking for, and tailoring um, my I guess pitch um,
Yeah.
to what they're looking for. And for the most part, I'm blessed to be able to offer everything that most residents are looking for in a retirement community.
Okay. That makes sense. Now, you played a pivotal role in expanding Acacia Creek's market share beyond the Masonic community. What strategies did you implement to achieve that?
Um, One, it was just having a big network. So in my previous roles, I've expanded my network of contacts. And then, of course, going from subacute skilled nursing to CCRC, completely different referral sources. But I still utilize my old referral sources because, word of mouth is always the best referral. And I was able to leverage all of my existing network to just allow me to spread the word. We attended American Case Management Association
Mhm.
in Monterey, so that kind of opened up the doors for our skilled nursing, which was struggling when I first started. So now they're maintaining a pretty good census, um, and a lot of digital marketing, a lot of networking with placement uh, agencies and placement professionals. Until now, I get the question like, "Oh, you guys are open to non-Masons," and it's a work in progress, but
Yep.
we're getting there. Census is healthy, and so that's a primary goal. But yeah, it's really just word of mouth. I really don't do a lot of outreach,
Yeah.
a lot of
I
events.
have
Sorry.
events that was good. And I have a question also. I meant to ask this before.
Mhm,
The folks that are looking at your community, obviously it's a CCRC.
mhm.
Do you find that if they're looking at other communities to compare yours to, are they also looking at other CCRCs, or are they looking at, non-CCRC options to compare you with?
For the most part, they're doing both. And matter of fact, I encourage them to look at other communities just to, because uprooting your life from, South Bay, if
Yeah.
you've been in your home for 50 years and now you're uprooting to a retirement community, it's a big decision.
Hmm.
So I actually encourage them to look at other communities so that they can really see what options are out there. I I encourage them to look at other strictly independent communities with maybe an assisted living offering. But I also remind them that you know we, we can't we can't foresee the future. So
Right.
if you end up with a diagnosis of Alzheimer's, then you're
Yeah.
going to have to relocate. And and so for the most part, everybody that I encounter is savvy enough to know what they're looking for. And at this point, I'm just guiding them, you know, uh, pointing out what's important to them, pointing out what we have to offer.
Yep.
And it's truly a luxury lifestyle, and that's how it's been working.
Yep. Okay, got it. I mean, you're pointing out the fact that they don't necessarily need to even move anywhere when they need extra levels of care. So,
Absolutely.
which a lot of places can't say the same.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about East Bay Senior Roundtable and networking, because that's how I met you.
Hmm.
Now, what inspired you to co-found the East Bay Senior Roundtable, and what is its core mission?
So our core mission is to really just have a collaborative group, uh, professionals, senior care professionals that we can trust.
Right.
You know, because for sure, my biggest thing is it's families come to us because they have a need, and I want to be, if I can personally help them, I want to be able to redirect them to somebody that I can, and that somebody um, will be somebody that I know is not going to drop the ball, and I'm going to have 100% faith that that person can help. Then that person will refer to somebody else that can also. Um, so at the end of the day, we want to help the seniors. We do not want to leave them hanging, and that was really the reason I started it. Um, Back in I'm gonna say 2009,
Yeah.
2011-ish. The peak was in the Fremont area. It's called Partners in Care of Alameda, and I was fortunate enough to get Judy Verrett's blessing to start our own here, because Pika had migrated Oakland and north,
Yep.
so they were no longer coming down this way, and so there was a need for a collaborative group. And with the help of Eleanor Lanuza and a few other senior care professionals, we started East Bay Senior Roundtable, and it's been going for over a year now.
Yep.
We started maybe 50 attendees, and then that just grew to an average of 80 attendees every time we have our roundtable. And it consists senior living,
Yeah.
home care, home health, hospice, real estate professional
Yep.
like yourself. So we're literally a one-stop shop of professionals that focus on helping seniors.
Yeah, and what I appreciate about it too, that I wanted to interject, is that I also get to see other assisted living and senior communities, because you keep moving the monthly event to a different location. So I get to see almost like an open house, right, of these communities too,
And
which I
that's the
like.
goal is it allows you as a real estate agent to have access to these communities where, you know, um, not everybody gets access to those communities.
Yeah.
And so it's not a private group, so everybody
Right.
is welcome to join if they'd like to. It's every second Thursday of the month, and it's always at 4 to 6. And our website is eastbayseniorroundtable.org. If you
Yep.
like to sign up, feel free to do so.
And you guys also have a private LinkedIn group as well, which is how I originally found you.
Yes.
Very randomly that I found you, to be honest with you. Now, let me ask you this. Can you share any success stories? Does anything come to mind on like, or initiatives that have emerged from Roundtable's efforts?
Let's see. Well, collaboratively, I feel like we've been a big success. Referring to each other.
Yep.
Um, and although I truly feel like although some of these communities are technically my competitor, but I'm happy to say that I'm able to help families that don't quite fit in our community. So, our CCRCs are not for everybody. Sometimes they're past a certain level of health where their only option is assisted living or memory care.
Yeah.
And so it's nice to still be able to partner up with uh, other communities to still provide that uh, level of care that they need. As far as successes, I truly didn't think we were going to last a year.
Oh, wow.
But here we are. We're still plugging away. I think we have we're booked until November of this year. So, you know, um, one day I'm gonna pass the torch to one of you guys if I ever
Yeah.
decide to step down, and I'm just happy to see it grow.
Okay. Now, let's talk more about future vision and industry insights. What are your aspirations for the future of Acacia Creek and the East Bay Senior Roundtable?
So as far as Acacia Creek, I'm almost full. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, I'm almost full. When I started there in 2023, our census was about 62%. All of my scheduled move-ins are resident. Um, by the end of May, I should be at 95%.
Okay.
So lots of moving parts, lots of deposit.
Yeah.
It's at first, I'll be honest, at first asking for 95,000 as a deposit was a little uncomfortable, but you're selling quality.
Right.
So I got, I got used to that. And as far as aspirations, my next goal is to be an executive director.
Okay.
So, any company out there would like to take a chance and give me a bite, we're more than happy to prove myself. I've been successful at every role that I've done. And as far as the senior roundtable, the goal is to just really keep growing. Maybe this year our focus is to partner up with other senior roundtables and collaborate with them. I know there's one in the Tri-Valley, which is right, literally our neighbor next door. Contra Costa has their share meeting. Maybe we can participate in those two and collaborate. And then South Bay. And I used to attend the South Bay quite often because I was in the peninsula. So South Bay is also heavily attended. So,
Yep.
just maybe doing some type of joint event where you kind of merge and go from there. It'll be nice to know other professionals in other areas.
All right, that makes sense. Now, how do you foresee the senior care industry evolving in the next decade, and what role will CCRCs play in that evolution?
Well, some folks might agree that, or disagree, I should say, that, CCRCs or some folks might say CCRCs are a dying model. For one, it's not everybody has $1 million to $2 million to as your entrance fee.
Right.
But I feel like it really depends on the company that you work for. As you know, a lot of other companies are being bought out by large companies like Oakmont and Cogier. I think as far as CCRCs are concerned, nationwide, there are some that are unfortunately being sold to, for profit groups. It's not easy to sustain, I should say, in a sense where not everybody has that type of money to put down, especially in California, where unless you sell your home,
Right.
you won't have that 1.5 to do your entrance fee.
Yep.
Versus a community where you're paying a $5,000 community fee or even 10,000. That's a little bit more affordable. And so I feel like there's a niche market for CCRCs, and there's also a niche market for the other type of communities where these are folks that do not want to sell their house and they want to pass their houses on down to their family. So but I feel like as things change in the next 10 years, we're very short when it comes to senior living, especially memory care. There's just not enough. And so I feel like the industry is going to evolve in a sense where I'm hoping that most communities will provide at least 3 levels:
Mm-hmm.
assisted, independent, and memory.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but as of right now, not looking good.
Right.
There's just not enough support. There's not enough communities, and we need to build more.
Okay. Yeah, that all makes sense. Now, what advice would you offer to professionals aiming to innovate and make a significant impact in the senior care sector?
Um, just think outside of the box. Be a resource.
Yeah.
Try to learn as much as you can about the industry. Um, know your trusted partners, and as far as senior care itself, it has to come from in here. You
Yeah.
have to have the heart for the elderly. And we're not selling cars, we're not selling a tangible item. We're selling a lifestyle. We're selling service that could be life or death for somebody. And so you really have to come in with compassion, uh, with the love for seniors, and then not everybody, it's not for everybody, but your headspace and your heart has to be in the same place when it comes to doing what we do.
Yep. One of those things it's not, you can't learn that in school. I feel like you either have it or you don't have it, right?
Wow. And the crazy thing is, my degree has nothing to do with what I'm doing now. My degree is in engineering design.
And Brian and I could relate because my degree is in electrical engineering too.
Oh yes, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and
yeah.
here we are.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
here we are on this
here we are.
podcast together talking about seniors.
Yeah.
Now, what do you enjoy most about working in the senior living industry?
What gives me the best feeling is the gratitude that I get after. Once they've moved in and they've settled down, it's that last thank you that I get. It's the smile that I see when I pass them in the hallway and I say, how's everything? Are you getting unpacked? And for me, that's the best feeling. Of course, we want to make an income and all that good stuff. To feel nice and fuzzy, that thank you that you get from your residents, because you took their hand and you guided them and through the whole process. And so that's the biggest reason why I love what I do.
Okay. One of my last questions is, can you share a memorable experience with a resident or colleague that has had a lasting impact on you?
It's not really a colleague per se or a company.
Yeah.
More so really the struggle that I experienced while navigating the healthcare system when my dad was, experiencing, not knowing what's going on with him because he just got weaker. the crash course about being caregiver. Like I
Yeah.
didn't know how to be a caregiver, but you have to do what you have to do to help your dad, your terminally ill father. Um, and then when we figured out what his diagnosis was, and the doctors just said, okay, we're going to put him on home health. Well, what
Yeah.
is home? So uh, I didn't know what home health was about. I didn't know what devices were available to him. I didn't know if insurance covered it, things like that. And then when it came to hospice, same thing. We didn't know what was what. And it was just taking that struggle that my mom and us kids endured, and channeling that to learning as much as I can to be a resource to families that are going through the same thing, whether dad and mom are, dad's fallen 3 times trying to take care of mom who has Alzheimer's. They're not safe at home anymore. And so you're really taking their biggest concern, their crisis in life, and you're giving them solutions. Um, and so that experience, and my personal experience, was really what drove me to learn as much as I can and to do what I do now. You'll meet residents where they've declined,
Yeah.
and so your focus slightly changes, where you're being supportive to the spouse, and
Yeah.
making sure she's, things are going to be okay. If you need to transition to a smaller apartment, don't even worry about it. Just take your time, things like that. It's just um, literally every step of the way, whether it be moving in, excitement into moving into a new apartment, or the sadness of downgrading because you lost your spouse.
Yeah. 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 Thanks for sharing that. Now, last question, just so this is a fun question, so our audience can potentially relate to you even better. What hobbies or interests do you pursue outside of your work life?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. So I do have a lot of hobbies. I like sports. Was very much into snowboarding, working out. But my most recent hobby is competitive shooting. So they call it action shooting, where you're running through a course. I know I don't look like that type, but it's a lot of fun, and you're it's almost like you're navigating this course, and you're having to shoot certain targets twice and steal targets once, um doing it, of course, in a safe manner where you're not
Yeah.
pointing the gun at people behind you. Um, but yeah, it's a nice way to de-stress,
Yeah.
especially now that I'm a little overweight. I used to train jujitsu and Muay Thai
Yeah.
since 2011. So, but this is just, it's a hobby that I've been doing for about, I want to say, 3 years now. Um, it's like collecting cars.
Yeah.
You start with one, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, now I need a bigger set.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. It's not for everybody. Um, but yeah, it's good innocent fun.
Yeah. I like it. Nice. That's nice outlet for you.
Yes, absolutely.
So in wrapping up, so I'm going to say, Brian, this has been such an informative and inspiring conversation, and I truly appreciate you shedding light on the power of CCRCs and your amazing work with the East Bay Senior Roundtable.
Thank you.
Before we wrap up, how can someone get in touch with you if they have questions, they want to connect with you with Acacia Creek, or even learn more about East Bay Senior Roundtable?
Absolutely. So, I'll just give you guys my direct line at work. It's 510-441-3710. And my email is B as in Brian, and then my last name is RAIM as in Mary, U, N as in Nancy, D as in David, O. So Raimundo at acaciacreek.org. If you'd like to come and do a tour of the community, feel free to give me a call. And then as far as East Bay Senior Roundtable, just visit us on our website. Again, it's eastbayseniorroundtable.org. And if you'd like to be on our list of attendees, just put your email in there and we'll add you to the list. We typically send out an evite because it's easier for us to track attendees that way. And so we'll send out an evite typically about a week before an upcoming event, and we go from there. Every community that's hosting will be posted on the website, so you guys will know where the next event. And I believe it's going to be at Carlton Senior Living in Fremont for the month of May.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect, Brian. And for those of you watching, if your loved one is considering senior living and you need to figure out what to do with their home, let's talk. Schedule a free consultation with me by clicking on the Calendly link located in the video description box for this episode on YouTube. You can learn more about my services at www.simplifyseniortransitions.com. If you have a quick question, DM me on Instagram at SoldByDale. If you found this interview helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who might need this information. Thanks for tuning in. Brian, one last thanks again for being on the show. Yeah, you're welcome. And for everyone else, I'll see you on the next episode of the Simplify Senior Transitions podcast.